Here, the Beer TV Ramble, looking at Old Thumper. Paid $1 for this today at Rouse's. I was in the store picking up a brew I'm going to review with my colleague, Mr. Terrio, this week. The Chimay Grand Reserve, which I've never had before. This beer I never had before. So saw it on they had a little section they were selling these different beers. Saw $1 and my interest was piqued, so grabbed it, and here I am. Breweries in Portland, Maine. The Shipyard, but obviously the brewery is from Ringwood Brewery in New Hampshire, England, across the pond. Cheerio, folks. This is an ESB style, 5.6 ABV by volume. Peter Austin, many like Fritz Montag or Jim Cook, founded Boston Lager, and even Dick Yingling, if you want to put him in that category. Many are considered those gentlemen the founding fathers of, and the Sierra Nevada folks. And also, did I mention Chris Montag of Anchor? Many consider them the founding fathers of the craft beer movement that we have today. So, Shipyard produces the beer under the name Ridgewood Brewery, but they produce the beer in Portland, Maine. A lot of craft beers. I saw this video done one time with Jeffrey Lyons and Ronald J. Terrio. They did a review of Old Thumper. So I said, damn, I wish I could have beers like that down here. I mean, we got some good craft beers, but I mean, we get some of the good, get some good stuff, but stuff from up the northeast, the New England area, or out west, are starting to trickle down, but not in droves. So when I saw that, and then I saw the price, and I remember they did a video of this, I said I gotta have it. So gets a good score with both Beer Advocate as well as the Bros. A whiff of the beer, 5.6. They said they dropped the ABV down on this beer to 5.1, but it still says 5.6 on the bottle. So very strong scent, really nice scent. Smells really, really good, like a little sweetie, a little bready scent to it, like a pumpkin sort of spice bread. Nice sweet bread kind of type of smell. Well, see a little lacing on this. I got it's not my typical beer glass I have, but this will do. The beer glasses I tend to get are pretty cheap. I'm gonna give me another one. I got that big Alabama glass, which is all right, but I can't see the beer through there. So sometimes I'll use a pint glass, a champagne glass, wine glass, time to time to sip my beer. So here we go. The taste. Oh yeah, I like a lot. Should have gotten more. But that other beer kind of ain't set me back. I mean, it is an expensive beer, so we're gonna review it. I got a big bomber of it, and I'm kind of looking forward to trying it this week when we do the review. Chimay Grand Reserve. Anyhow, so I got my sweater on. It was a little warm, a little chilly out there this morning here in Mobile. It was like in the 30s. This morning it was like 35, so kind of a little unusually cold. So I'm supposed to get up to the 40s today, and we're gonna sample some of this weather is out there, feeding some of those chickens I got out there. This is good. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's a pretty excellent beer. It's a nice little finish to it. I love the color. A nice little bite. It's not overly potent, you know. It's pretty good. I mean, I could drink three, five, seven of these, six of these. Well, that's too much. About four tops, but this is pretty good. 5.6. Um, another is the I have another ESB style I've had before, and what's the name of that company? Hold on a second. I got the beer. I got it in my fridge. Hold on. I'll be right back. Last ESB I had before style English bitter style was by this company, Red Hook, right there. But there's not the beer this is not a ESB. This is another beer I'm gonna sample. Got some brews I'm gonna be sampling down the road, so stay tuned, watch. But I had an ESB from them, and I thought that was quite good. It was about the same. About I think it was 5.7 ABV on that one. So some good carbonation in this beer here. Um, the company Shipyard used to be a restaurant before it turned into a brewery. It was a fish house or seafood house, I guess it was. And they brewed beer, and then they decided to go full onslaught into doing producing beers at that place. And a lot of the beers, if you watch Jeffrey Lyons' New England beer reviews, he does a lot of beers, not only from the brewery but from many others in that New England area, which are like there are a slew of them. And and then when he did the review of the old Thumper, and they did another review of that beer with Ron Terra, I said, one day I like to try that. And you know, good stuff. I mean, it's really not bad. Um, and of course now they're pretty much everywhere. If you can travel all across the United States, if you travel up around New England, even come down here, and even down in Alabama, we have some of their stuff here. Mostly, it's across the bay, um, in Baldwin County, that part of Alabama, which has a good craft beer scene. We do too here in Mobile, not much. We're trying to get a brewery here, which will we had one here before, but for whatever the reason, I don't know what led for it to shut down. Um, when it arrived, um, then it became a different right, and then became a restaurant, a Cabo Mexican restaurant. Now it's Montego Bay, and I don't know. They're thinking they're doing another one. The place is going to open up at it's going to be at the auto repair shop, an old one. And the dates haven't been scheduled to say. It's supposed to be within the end of the year, but they're still going through some stuff with the city and the zoning board and whatnot. So, but they should get some clearance for that because, again, you got some folks. We sample a lot of beers from a lot of folks. We'll get them obviously shipped to some of these bars. I know like seven or seven of them. We get quite a few. Uh, good craft beers or stuff that's in bottles, and not just from within the state of Alabama, from Birmingham or Fairhope or um, Huntsville. A lot of good craft beers in the state, but we getting beers from parts of New England, getting beers from parts of California and New York, Chicago, that part of the country. So Texas of all places. So um, I like this beer a lot. This is good. I just had some what I had just now. Maybe this part wasn't the beer to go with it. I just had some chicken cutlets, and I mixed some had with some potatoes and some vegetables for my meal. A little early brunch for this Monday. I'm off today from work, but I said let me have this, and I just ate the meal, and now I'm sampling this beer. So This is good. I like this. I'm gonna give this thing a I'm gonna give this thing like a 9.5. It's really good. Most of the beers I've tried already, I haven't really been negative on. Maybe the ciders have probably been negative, but most of the beers I've reviewed have been pretty much pretty good, outstanding. So yeah, 9.5 is a good beer for this beer. And like I said, shout outs to Jeffrey Lyons and even to Ronald J. Terrio, Marie Devon, Thomas Mello, because most of these beers, growing up, I had, like I said, we love beer. And, we've probably all have sampled different things, but for me, it was always, let's just find the discounted stuff and the cheap stuff and we'll go. I've had craft beers before, but usually stuck to what my usual were either the Budweiser, the Coors, Extra Gold, mm, um, Coronas, things like that, and even some of the ones that came out during the time when Corona was very popular, like the Tequila and then those beers. And yes, I've had the high gravity beers or malt liquors, and all, but that's all I drank was most of the light stuff. And then watching some of these reviews and stouts were, of course, the only stout I thought was the only thing was Guinness. So, but seeing a lot of the reviews from the folks I just mentioned, it's kind of exposed me to a lot of things I like to try, and it's all you can do is try. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. No one's telling you to like this and then you stop. Well, I'll stop drinking this because I have to drink that. Nonsense. But so I want to thank those folks I just mentioned because you've exposed me to different things and like this, which I've heard before, and but now for trying it for the first time, and especially for the price I got it for, $1 at Rouse's. Hey, then it's you make me wonder. It makes you appreciate hey, there's people putting out some good stuff from the big boys to the little guy or the in between. So I think that's good. And see, all you have to it's nothing wrong for experiment and trying things. It's what's the negative about that? There is none. So anyhow, enough yapping. 9.5 for me on this beer. Tell me what you think. If you've had Old Thumper, leave your comments on the bottom. Join us here at the Beer and TV Ramble team. Keep watching, and as always, cheers.